Hello and welcome to 2022. I very almost said 2021, but it is not anymore 2021, it is now 2022, the year of, I don't know, probably about the same as the past 2 years. I am here today with you, hopefully. It would be kind of sad if I was here all by myself, to do a planning video. If you read the title of this video, you should know what it's about. But basically, I'm gonna plan my reading year for 2022 because I want to be more productive in a reading sense. Because last year, I read a total of 12 books. I want to read more this year, and to do that, I feel that I need a plan in order to achieve these goals of mine. My goal is not to read as many books as I set out to read last year, because I think that was kind of an insane amount for somebody who does not read very fast, aka me. So I'm gonna make my goal more realistic and achievable this year. So I thought I would bring you along on this journey to plan my reading year. We're gonna do a whole bunch of cool things. Actually, we're not. We're just gonna write in a notebook. But I thought I would go over a few of the things, a few of my goals for this reading year with you, and then we can plan how I'm gonna achieve those goals. Okay? Okay, cool. My first goal of the year is to read at least 20 books. I would like to read 24 books, because then that meant I read 2 books every month. But actually I would like to read more than that. But my goal, to set myself up for success and not failure, like last year, I would like to read at least 20 books. More than that is absolutely great. Less than that will also be fine. But I would like to read 20 books at least. My next goal, oh my goodness, my eye is so itchy. Why is my eye itching right now? Okay, anyway, my next goal is to spend 1 entire month of this year reading only poetry. I don't know when that's going to be, because at the moment, all of the poetry that I own, I've already read. So this will involve me having to go out and buy some more poetry collections. And then I would also really love to tackle some of the classics that I have on my bookshelf, because I have a lot of classics on my bookshelf, because most of them I'm borrowing from my dad. And I would like to finish them so that I can give them back to him, so that I can have space on my bookshelf for the books that are lying on my floor in a pile, because I don't have space on my bookshelf to put them, because I'm borrowing too many books from other people that are taking up too much space. Speaking of which, I just realized I have never showed you any of these books in this pile yet, because I was gonna do a big haul and a reading vlog last year, and then I never got around to it because I didn't read. We will do a haul of these books at a later date. Another goal I have for this month specifically, not this year, but this month specifically, is to actually finish all of the books that I started reading last year but didn't finish last year. So technically I'm still currently reading them. I say all of the books, it's a total of 2 books, but I need to finish these books because I've been reading them for way too long, and I need to move on to a new book. I need to finish all of those books, all of those 2 books, so that I can move on to greener pastures in the form of all of the other thousands of books I have on my TBR. So, in saying that, I think this would be a good time to sit down at my desk and take out my journal, notebook, thing, whatever you want to call it, and plan some bookish things for the year. So I finished my little reading journal spread yesterday, but by the time I had finished, and by the time I had finished doing all my other things, it was dark outside, so I couldn't film in the dark. So I wanted to show you what I did here. So on this first page, I just made a big 2022 on the top, and then I made a small box here for reading goals, and then I wrote down all my reading goals. One that I mentioned, or one that I forgot to mention yesterday, was that I want to get into audiobooks, because I just think it's an easier way to read, especially non-fiction for me. Or I've decided if I want to read a series of books, I would much rather get them on audiobook, because I'm not really the biggest fan of series, because usually I can find the first book and then I can't find the rest. And it just takes too long to read a whole series. The rest, you already heard me talk about the rest of my reading goals. And then in the rest of the page, so a column here and a smaller column here, is my want to read list. So this is the books that I want to read this year. Whether or not I will actually read them is another question. So it's not my TBR necessarily, it's my want to read. Because these are the books so far that I've written down that I would like to read this year. But I give you no guarantee that I will actually read them. And then on this on this half of the spread, there's my month by month TBR. So this is the actual books that I'm going to read those in these months. So I filled in my January TBR. There's 4 books on my January TBR, but just because I wanted to give myself options. The first 2 are the 2 that I'm already reading, so Imaginary Friend and The Intuitionist. And then the other 2 are books that I'd like to read if and when I finish these other 2 books. So the first one is 1984, because my friend gave me a ebook copy of this book, and I had no intention of ever reading 1984, but she said it was really interesting and that I should read it, so I'm going to read it. And then the other one is A Little Life, which, if you know, everyone and their mom was reading this book last year. My yoga instructor actually lent it to me last year in November, I think, and I just haven't gotten around to reading it, so I would like to read that this month, depending on how soon I finish the other 2 books, because I have it here, and it is, you know, quite a fatty. It's quite a chunky book, so depending on how quickly I finish the other 2 books that I'm already reading, I'll start reading this one after those. I'm not sure that I'll finish it this month, but I'd at least like to start. And if you can hear squeaking in the background, that's my cat looking for attention downstairs. Please ignore her. I will go attend to her in a minute. That's all I did. I haven't made any other spreads. As you can see, I made a reading journal thing last year, and I put a lot more effort into it, as you can see. But I didn't really use it, because I had printed out all these pictures of the covers of books I wanted to read. I didn't really use it because I didn't read many of these books. As you know, I only read 12 books last year, and then I also left some space to make notes on books that I was reading. And I used it for 2 books. Other than that, I did not use it at all. So this year, I just wanted to do something simple that I could keep track of easily. And if I do want to write notes on any of the books that I'm reading, I have space, especially if they're not my own books, because then I don't underline or highlight or anything in other people's books, obviously, out of respect. So then I need somewhere to write down lines that I like, or thoughts that I have while reading the book, etc., etc. But that is my 2022 planning done. So thank you very much for joining me on this adventure. And if you like this video, you can give it a thumbs up, and you can subscribe to my channel if you want to see more bookish things. Thank you for watching. I hope you have a lovely day or night whenever you're watching this. And I'll see you again soon in my next video.